All right, let's go on the record, please. This is 2021 CR 8699, the state of Texas versus Victoria Olivia Flores. Attorneys, please make your announcements for the record.
Gretchen Plater for the state.
Charles Mays for Ms. Flores, Your Honor.
Ms. Flores is appearing by video conference with Bexar County Jail. Go ahead and tell me your full name.
Victoria Olivia Flores.
Okay, we're here on the results of the TAP evaluation. This is an opposed application. Do you have any witnesses, state or defense?
And from the state.
Mr. Mays?
Your Honor, I will go ahead and I'd like to call Ms. Flores to the stand.
Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this call shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. Victoria, would you please state your full name?
Victoria Olivia Flores.
Okay, and Victoria, you understand why we're here today, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and evidently, you've been in trouble in the past, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And are you pregnant right now?
I am 5 months pregnant, and I discovered it upon my arrest.
Has that made any difference in your life?
It's made a huge impact on my life, sir. Before discovering this pregnancy, I honestly didn't feel like I had much of a motive. I had been going downhill. I admit that I was in the wrong, but I've definitely desired to have a child of my own, and this being my first and my only, I'm willing to do whatever I need to do in order to better myself while being incarcerated. Since we don't have church or anything, I've managed to bring the church to the jail. So I know that I have it in me to do something with myself and with my life and for my child.
You understand that at this point, there's a recommendation that you attend residential dual diagnosis treatments services over at the Volunteers of America. You understand that?
Volunteers of America? Yes, sir.
And you also understand that the other side of the coin is could be a Texas Department of Criminal Justice Institutional Division. You understand that?
I do understand that.
Okay. And are you asking this court here today to place you on deferred adjudication?
Yes, Your Honor. I mean, yes, Judge. I mean, Attorney.
Okay. And also, are you asking her to place you in this program?
Yes.
Okay. And you understand that you might remain incarcerated for another 6, 8, 9, 12 months if you go to this program. You understand that?
I didn't know that, but it's going to be a hard thing to do. Would I have to let go of my baby? Like, would I have to release him to family, or that's the hard part for me.
Okay. Well, we'll address that here in a minute.
Okay.
Okay. But are you willing to do whatever it takes
I am.
to cure, or not cure yourself, but stop using these drugs and making
Of
a better life?
course. Yes.
Okay. And you understand that there's a lot of people that come and the judge hears this day in and day out. What makes it so different for you? What makes you stand out?
I've been making an impact here in the jail. These 5 months that I've been here, I've actually have brought a lot of these females back to God. I've given them motivation. I've given them hope, and I've tried to utilize my time wisely. But for the most part, I've been doing it mostly for me and for the sake of my child. Never in my life did I think I'd be in this position, but I'm more than ready to go out and make a difference. I also want to make an impact in the jails, being that I see how I affect these women. I know that I can make a difference.
I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
No questions, Judge.
Any other witnesses, Mr. Mays?
No, Your Honor, arrest, Your Honor.
Okay, state.
Nothing from the state.
Okay, argument?
Judge, I would just ask that you follow the TAP evaluation.
Well, I do have some bad news to report about the TAP evaluation. The program is closed due to COVID. I'm not sure why that evaluation recommended it. I don't know that anyone verified it before they made the recommendation, but it's closed due to COVID. So I have other options though. I do have other options, not that one, but we have other options. All right, Mr. Mays, anything you want to add on behalf of your client?
No, Judge, we just ask that you take whatever options the court feels it is appropriate. I understand that Ms. Flores has been in trouble, and luckily she is with child right now, and I think that this will really make a real big difference in her life, Judge. I think that that's really caught her attention. And I hope that she becomes a very good mother that loves her child and also a contributing member of society, Judge. We just ask that you, whatever you decide, Judge, we place it in your hands, Judge.
Gretchen, what is that misdemeanor case? Is that what the fight was about originally? Is that a family violence case, or what is that?
It's an evading.
Oh, yes. Okay, I saw that too. So the dispatch that came across for people fighting, that was not related to them, or nobody saw that?
I don't think it was a case that had been filed before, I think.
Where are you gonna go live, Ms. Flores?
I'm gonna stay with my mom. My mom's a big support. She just graduated for her RN. She's recovered from using drugs. I do want to thank you, Your Honor, for your concern of me eating. Both the officers asked me about it, and they also said to let you know that I was glowing.
Well, I mean, that's the least we could do.
But I'm not getting the proper, he's still, or I don't know how this works about him seeing the doctor. I am having a boy. I have not been yet to the university. I've only gone for a sonogram. I have had some bleeding happen due to, I'm not sure if it's stress, but I'm concerned about his health and his well-being, but that is definitely something. And then the COVID going on here, there's people coming in and out of our units that have COVID. It's just, I don't.
Ms. Flores, it's fine. You're gonna get released. You're gonna get released. All right, I do find the evidence is sufficient to substantiate your guilt. I'm not gonna make any other findings at this time. I'm gonna grant the application for deferred adjudication for a period of 6 years. No fine. The state has already dismissed JN 2035610 and CM 93748.
I love you.
Mr. Mays, as soon as possible, I need you to take care of that other case
Yes,
in county court. What I'm going to do is I'm going to order that you be referred to the Center for Healthcare Services.
I can do that.
And I'm going to order outpatient
Thank you so much.
dual diagnosis treatment. But guess what? I'm going to hold residential treatment in abeyance. This is to encourage you to stay sober,
Okay.
stay healthy, because if it doesn't work with what I'm doing, I'm not going to hesitate. I can't send
understand.
you right now. Nobody will take you this far along in a pregnancy. I get that.
Okay.
That doesn't mean that I don't have options for when you're no longer pregnant.
I promise you will not regret this.
Judge, can we do bi-weekly urinalysis until the baby's born?
That's perfectly fine too.
PDRF is held in abeyance. I'm going to do let's do weekly. Weekly UAs. I'm also going to do weekly field tests. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the field team go visit you at home every week.
Okay.
So we're gonna have more than one pair of eyes and ears on you.
That's perfectly fine.
This is a plea bargain case, Ms. Flores. I did follow your plea bargain agreement. You do not have a right to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I need you to go into a breakout room with probation. Mr. Mays, you can go in there as well if you want.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You need to give that address of your mom's house to the probation officer because we're gonna do field visits and they're gonna
Okay.
tell me everything they see and find.
That's perfectly fine. I got you. I promise you will not regret this.
Thank you, you're excused. And then that just leaves Joshua Garcia and Ezekiel Montoya. I think I have some paperwork. I think I have everything on Ezekiel Montoya. Does he have more than one case or just one
No.
plea? Okay.
One case.
And one dismissal, right?
Yeah.
Denise, I put Kelly in your room.
Man, that Kelly was fast. So, Mr. Slimane, is yours a plea as well? Did you already do your paperwork?
Yes, Your Honor. Paperwork should be in the hands of the clerk at this point. I don't think Mr. Garcia has been sworn, but once he is, we should be ready to
Let's
proceed.
swear him in. Let's swear him in. I have the paperwork, so we could do one plea right after the other.
Very good, Judge.
Your Honor, may I be excused? I believe Sam has the final matters.
Thank you.
Yes, yes, sir. Thank you.
I need to look over some stuff for Mr. Roberts for tomorrow.
Is that the big meeting tomorrow? The
Tomorrow-
big summit?
tomorrow's the big day. All right. I'll see everyone later.
Okay.
Work your magic, Josh. Work your magic.
Rochelle, you ready on Montoya?
Yes, Judge, I think all of the paperwork is signed.
It is.
Okay. Can I have Xavier Montoya raise his right hand?
Mr. Montoya, raise your right hand. They're going to swear you in.
Oh, okay.
Are you the defendant of these cases, of this case?
Yes.
And you went over the plea bargain and admonishments?
Yes, ma'am.
And it's your it's your right to waive, it's your wish to waive your right to a jury trial?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Linda, did you give me that motion that I asked you for earlier?
You're in for Kelly.
Yes, ma'am.
Denise?
Yes, you ready?
Sorry, I was already on the record. Let's go on the record, please. You don't read lips, David? What kind of court reporter doesn't read lips, David?
This one.
All right, let's go on the record. This is cause number 2021 CR 7410, the state of Texas versus Ezekiel Montoya. Attorneys, please make your announcements for the record.
Gretchen Plater for the state.
Rochelle Acevedo for Mr. Montoya.
Montoya is appearing by video conference from the Bexar County Jail. Go ahead and give me your full name, sir.
Ezekiel Montoya.
On the screen, I have the true bill of indictment that was filed in this case. It alleges the offense of robbery. Do you understand the charge that you have?
Yes, ma'am.
Are we proceeding as charged?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Montoya, robbery is a second-degree felony, and it is punishable by confinement in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice, the Institutional Division, for any period between 2 and 20 years confinement. It also carries a possible fine of up to $10,000. Do you understand the range of punishment?
Yes, ma'am.
You have the right to a jury trial. You have the right to cross-examine the witnesses against you, and you have the right to remain silent. Those are your constitutional rights. Do you understand those?
Yes, ma'am.
When you sign the defendant's waiver of rights, this document that I have on the screen, what you're telling me is you want to give up those rights. Is that what you intend to do?
Yes, ma'am.
Is this your electronic signature above Ezekiel Montoya?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, ma'am.
If you are not a citizen, I'm still required to tell you that a plea of guilty or no contest to this charge can result in deportation, exclusion from admission to the country, or denial of naturalization under federal law. Mr. Montoya, are you satisfied with the representation of your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Acevedo, does your client have a rational and factual understanding of the proceedings against him?
I believe he does.
Has he been able to assist you in the preparation of any defenses?
He has, Your Honor.
And in your opinion, is he mentally competent to waive his rights and enter into a plea?
I believe he is, Your Honor.
We'll accept the waiver and make it part of the record. Mr. Montoya, on the screen, I have the plea bargain agreement that you made in this case. I want to go over it with you. And then I want you to tell me if this is your understanding of the agreement. The agreement is for 3 years confinement in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice, no fine, no applications. It's going to run concurrent with 2 misdemeanor cases that you have, and the state is going to dismiss the violation of bond or protective order. Is that your understanding of the agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Acevedo, is that your understanding?
It is, Your Honor.
State, is that your understanding?
Yes, Judge.
What is your plea to the charge of robbery? Is it guilty, not guilty, or no contest, Mr. Montoya?
No contest.
Are you entering a plea of no contest because you have talked about this matter with your attorney and you believe it's in your best interest to do so?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you doing this freely and voluntarily?
Yes, ma'am.
Has anyone forced you to enter a plea
No, ma'am.
or offered you anything in exchange for your plea?
No, ma'am.
I will accept the plea of no contest. I do find the plea is voluntarily made, and I will ask the state to tender its proof.
It offers State's Exhibit 1 and its attachments.
No objections, Your Honor.
State's 1 is admitted. Ms. Acevedo, are you satisfied the state complied with Article 3914 in this case?
I am, Your Honor.
I will sign the discovery acknowledgement and make it part of the record. Give me just a minute, please.
Ms. Acevedo.
Yes.
How long would the other courts take? Like, would I still have to be waiting? Like, I would have to wait before I go to court for that. That way, before I can catch Shane over here.
I'll talk to you in a breakout room once we're done here.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's go back on the record, please. I do find the evidence is sufficient to substantiate your guilt. I will find you guilty of the offense of robbery, and I will assess punishment at 3 years confinement to the Texas Department of Criminal Justice, the Institutional Division. You do get credit for the time you have been in custody on this case. These matters will run concurrent with 658, 880, and 640-998. I also signed the dismissal in 2022, CR 0051. There's a no contact order with the Circle K at 606 Enrique Barrera Parkway, and a no contact order with Justin Arolser, Arolser. I think they spelled his name wrong, but all right, that's what the report says. This is a plea bargain case. Mr. Montoya, I did follow your plea bargain agreement. You do not have a right to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. You can go to the breakout room so you can talk to your attorney about your question.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Garcia, Joshua Garcia.
Yes, Your Honor, I believe we're ready.
Mr. Montoya, if you'll just hit join breakout room, it should give you the option.
All right. Let's go on the record. Okay. This is cause number 2020 CR 6923, the state of Texas versus Joshua Garcia. Attorneys, please make your announcements for the record.
Samuel Laws for the state, Your Honor.
Nathan Sylvain for Mr. Garcia.
Mr. Garcia is appearing by video conference. Go ahead and tell me your full name, sir.
Joshua Lee Garcia.
Can you see the screen?
I'm sorry.
Can you see the screen, the document on the screen?
Sorry, it keeps cutting out.
I can tell. Do you have a good internet connection or not?
Let me see if I can move myself to a better spot. Okay.
When is the release of 5G? Is that tomorrow? You know, there's like a big thing with 5G is going to get released tomorrow. And
Supposed to ground all the airplanes or something?
Yeah, going to ground the airplanes, and they're going to, it's a big interference. I mean, that sounds like something pretty serious, right? Like, I don't know if you saw the story where they were like, it's going to interfere with our landing gear.
People are having issues today, Judge. I don't know if they started the process, but it's bizarre.
Reminds me of Y2K.
Yeah.
Here we go again.
Here we go again. Everything's going to start falling out of the sky.
Oh my word. Okay, Mr. Garcia, what's the deal? You back on?
You're on mute, Joshua.
Keep having a bad connection. It keeps cutting in and out.
Okay, I want to go back on the record, but are you
document now?
Are you in a place where you can hear me?
I can hear you. Yes, ma'am.
All right. Can you see the document that I have on the screen, the indictment? Mr. Garcia, do me a favor. Let's go off the record tape. Mr. Garcia.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you still see the document if you stop the video on your end? Because stopping the video just doesn't allow us to see you.
It might help, Joshua, if you turn your phone sideways.
Okay, now I have a good connection.
Okay, I want you to be able to see the documents I'm going to show you on the screen. So can you see this document?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let's try it. Let's go on the record, David. But you're not driving, are you?
I drove away from my house to get a better signal. I'm pulling over right here.
Okay, pull over.
Yes, ma'am. I'm pulled over.
Okay. So can you see the screen now? Can you see the document I have on the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Let's go on the record. So Mr. Garcia, I was asking you if you could see the true bill of indictment that I have on the screen right now.
Yes, ma'am.
State, how are we going to proceed?
Your Honor, the state's going to proceed solely on count 2, assault, choking, family or strangulation, second, and waive and abandon count 1 and count 3.
All right, Mr. Garcia, I want you to listen to what I have to explain to you. The charge that we're going to proceed on is the charge of assault by choking or strangulation, and that's a second offense alleged to have occurred February 5th, 2020. Do you understand the charge that you have?
Yes, Your Honor, I understand.
You have the right, well, let me tell you the range of punishment first. The range of punishment for a second-degree felony is anywhere from 2 to 20 years confinement. It also carries a possible fine of up to $10,000. Do you understand that range of punishment that applies to a second-degree felony?
I do, ma'am.
You have the right to a jury trial. You have the right to cross-examine the witnesses against you. You also have the right to remain silent. Do you understand that those are your constitutional rights?
Yes, ma'am.
When you sign this document, Mr. Garcia, what you're telling me is you want to give up those rights. Is that what you intend to do?
Yes, ma'am.
Is this your electronic signature that I'm showing you at the bottom of the screen, right above where it says Joshua Garcia, defendant?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, ma'am.
If you were not a citizen of the United States, I'm still required to tell you that a plea of guilty or no contest to this charge could result in deportation, exclusion from admission to the country, or denial of naturalization under federal law. Are you satisfied with the representation of your attorney?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm sorry, I cut out again.
Mr. Slimane, does your client have a rational and factual understanding of the proceedings against him?
He does, Your Honor.
Has he been able to assist you in the preparation of any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
In your opinion, is he mentally competent to enter
Yes,
into
Your
the
Honor.
plea and waive his rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
I will accept the waiver of rights and make it part of the record. Mr. Garcia, I want to go over this plea bargain agreement with you, and then I want you to tell me if this is your understanding of the agreement. The agreement calls for 10 years confinement in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice, the Institutional Division, $2,000 fine, an affirmative finding of family violence, no contact order with Brianna Prieto, and the state will dismiss cause number 654624. Is that your understanding of the agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Slimane?
It is, Your Honor.
Mr. Lyles?
Yes, Your Honor.
What is your plea to the charge of strangulation, second offense in count 2? Is it guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty, Your Honor.
Are you entering a plea of guilty because you are guilty and for no other reason?
Yes, ma'am.
Has anyone forced you to enter a plea today?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone offered you anything in exchange for your plea?
No, ma'am.
I will accept the plea of guilty. I find the plea is voluntarily made, and I will ask the state to tender its proof.
State offers State's Exhibit 1 along with attachments.
Defense has no objections.
State's 1 is admitted. Mr. Slimane, are you satisfied that the state complied with Article 3914 in this case?
I am satisfied, Your Honor.
I will sign the discovery acknowledgement and make it part of the record. What are we doing for sentencing?
Your Honor, I discussed this with Mr. Lyles. Respectfully, I would request if we could reset for a little while for sentencing for the reason that Mr. Garcia, who is on bond and has been on bond, has 6 small children and a wife that they're going to have some concerns regarding their welfare when he goes away. So he would like to do what he can to make some concessions in their regard. And so we just want to make sure that he has an opportunity to do what he needs to do to set their affairs in order and make sure they're not going to be too much of a lurch when he goes to serve his sentence. So we would ask if we can 30 days, I think would be more than sufficient to come back for sentencing. And I believe Mr. Garcia is still on a GPS monitor.
Let's do Friday, February 25th.
Very good, Your Honor.
No, I take that back. Wednesday, February 23rd.
Very good, Your Honor. I'll have that on my calendar and we will be there in person for sentencing.
Yes, it'll be in person. Now, Mr. Garcia, we're still on the record. I'm going to take this time to admonish you. If you do not appear at sentencing or if you reoffend while you're awaiting sentencing, I will not follow this plea bargain agreement. So you'll just have to deal with that if that's the case. But I trust that won't be the case, but it's still, I have to tell you on the record that that is how I work. If I give you more time to take care of your personal affairs, then you can't be out reoffending or decide not to show up, okay? Mr. Garcia, you need to unmute yourself.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you hear me that you can't reoffend?
No, I missed it. It broke up a little bit there. I cannot reoffend and, stay out of trouble basically, right?
Yes, sir. Because if you don't, I'm not going to follow this plea bargain agreement.
Absolutely, ma'am.
Okay, hang tight. I'm not done. I have to read the evidence.
Okay.
Does anyone else need anything before I let Ashley? Ashley needs to log off. So does anybody, what's the status of Kelly Peddle's case?
Judge, we have an agreement. I just want to see if we can come back tomorrow morning to accomplish the plea deal.
Yes, that's fine.
Okay.
Kelly, you should have the paperwork within 2 minutes. I was just waiting for the yes or no.
Okay.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I'll see you in the morning. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Woolridge, you can log off. We'll or leave the Zoom and I'll see you in the morning.
Okay, thank you.
All right, give me just a minute. We're almost done. I just need to read the sticks.
I didn't hear when she said the sentencing date was gonna be
February 23rd, Joshua.
February 23rd. And thank you for everything you've done, Mr. Slimane. You know, thank you for your advice, and I appreciate it.
My pleasure, Joshua. We'll talk some more in just a bit when we get done here. I'll give you a call.
Okay. I still need to stay on.
We're not quite done yet.
Okay. Okay. So I'm not being convicted of the sexual assault, but does it still show up on my record as like an arrest for that?
So we'll discuss all that. We're still technically in the hearing, Joshua. Let me I'll explain any questions you have as soon as we get done here.
Okay.
Let's go back on the record. I do find the evidence is sufficient to substantiate your guilt. I will make no other findings at this time. I'm going to remind you that this is reset for sentencing on Wednesday, February 23rd, 2021. And that's in person, and that's at 9:30 a.m. At that time, you'll go into custody. So I'm also going to remind you, Mr. Garcia, you cannot reoffend. You cannot fail to show up, because then I will not honor this plea bargain agreement. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Anything else?